Good morning, students. Let's start chapter number 6, The Making of a Scientist. It is written by Robert W. Peterson. This is the story about a young Hebrite scientist that is written by him. First of all, we will discuss about the author of the chapter of the book. Actually, The Making of Scientist is written a book on the Hebrite, the famous scientist Richard E. Bright. So this is written by Robert Peterson. He was an American newspaper writer who had become later freelance author of magazines and articles books, especially on the topics of sports and scouting. His uh, nine, his 1970s Chronicle of Negro League Baseball, titled "Only the Balls Was White," was held by the New York Times as having recaptured a lost era in the baseball history and the rich fact of the black life in the America. So the baseball commissioner at the time, Bo Kuhn, later credited Peterson book that having focused great attention on that. So he has written about many things. In this story also, he had written about the famous scientist Richard H. Bright. He grew up to the north of Reading, Pennsylvania in USA. At the age of 24, he has excited the scientific world with the theory of self. So he was a great driving force to making him as a scientist. His role, now we can discuss about the chapter, what the things coming in the chapter. So let's start our chapter. Richard H. Bright, along with his roommate, surprised the world at the young age of 22 when he explained the theory of how cells work in the paper published in, uh, in the Science, proceeding in the National Academy of Science. And this valuable magazine had published the work of the college student for the first time. For Richard E. Bright, it was one of the many achievements that he achieved later in his life. He says that all his this curiosity started with butterflies. E. Bright grew up in the Pennsylvania and was the only child of his parents. He could not have done much there as there was less people living there. He says that he could only do one thing alone, and that was collecting the things, as he had no friends to play football or baseball with. He had begun collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins from the time when he was in the kindergarten. He also used to keep on starting at the stars and something the whole night as he was interested in studying astronomy. So, Ebright had always been curious to learn the new things, and his mind was very sharp.